Do you feel over these last 3 to 4 weeks you've slowly worked yourself back to where you want and need to be competitively heading into these final 7 games of the season?
Well, I think like any season, David, there's a little bit of up and down with your football team. I think there's, the first part of the, seasonal journey is, there's a threshold where you're always working to get over, and that's, to me, that's play speed and play style. I felt offensively it was coming to us, a lot quicker than defensively. If you go back to early in the season, we had some very productive days. Hello? You still there? Hello?
Yeah, still here.
Okay. Early in the season was productive, and offensively, the offense was clearly ahead of the defense. And I think, obviously, since all the injuries on offense, we've kind of taken a step back in some ways, where the defense has continued to gain, get better. Particularly, I think the last couple of weeks, you can see it just in the efficiency of practice and the ability to move the preparation process into game day particularly last 2 weeks. So I like where we are defensively. I like where we are special teams. We definitely can get better, and we're playing a lot of people, which I think is important, especially when you go into November and December football. But we do need to try to find our stride on offense, and it's just been a challenge with the different, with the changes in lineups.
Mike, along those lines, as long as Andy Dalton is healthy and this team is still in the division race and has a chance to win it, will he be the quarterback as long as those two circumstances are in place?
I think that's a fair and accurate statement. I don't want to take away anything from Garrett and what he accomplished yesterday. I thought he played a fine game. He did some really good things, particularly, in the command of the offense. There's a number of adjustments that were made throughout the game, and I thought he picked them up seamlessly, frankly. And so I feel really good about what he's accomplished, for only being here 3 weeks. But, Andy's been with us since day one, and, I just hope to get him back next week sometime, and hopefully we can pick up where he left off.
Hey, Coach, the Steelers had a player test positive. If you guys tested today, and is there you changed anything because of that?
Yes, we're aware of the player for the Pittsburgh Steelers has tested positive. We've been instructed to put forth some additional protocols, so that's really the mode that we're operating in. We're frankly going to a virtual meeting emphasis as we go into the bye week. That process has started today.
Will you practice on Wednesday, or that's still the plan, or no?
No, we will not. Yeah, we will not practice on Wednesday.
Can you talk about Tony Pollard and Ezekiel and what you have at your running back position? And obviously, Pollard seemed like he gave you some juice yesterday. Will he take a bigger role going forward?
Well, I thought they both played very well. They both broke a number of tackles, and and definitely were. They had runs versus tough, hard run looks. So I really like the mix that we have going right now with Zeke and Tony.
Mike, just to clarify on the practice, or no, not practice on Wednesday, is that a result of the Steelers test, or is that a result of you just wanting the players to get away from the bye?
No, it is a result of the additional protocols that we had to put in place.
And thank you. And I was wondering if you had an update yet on Trayvon Diggs and his foot and how he's doing.
They wait on another test. I don't really have anything to report specifically, but they're still going through the testing process.
Mike, Steven earlier said unequivocally, you're the guy in 2021, no matter what happens the rest of this year. Is a vote of confidence like that important to you, or does that really matter to you much?
I mean, I think anytime you have confidence around you, it's important, you know, to your program and what you're trying to build. But I think, you know, like everybody, I know myself in particular, I'm focused on, you know, improving each and every week and you know, trying to get done what we still are capable of getting done this year.
And realizing that the pandemic and injuries might be a part of this answer, do you feel like your voice, your program has been able to be implemented sort of the way you wanted it, or has it been a little bit more challenging than you thought it would be?
Oh, I think it's clearly challenging, more challenging. I think if you ask any coach or player, I mean, we're in unprecedented times. Just even if I was in my 10th year, I mean, this is an unprecedented situation. I think the experienced teams, you know, obviously have an edge going through this pandemic. I mean, you know, there's just so many things that change constantly. I mean, you know, today we had additional changes. So, I mean, we're in unprecedented times, and then the reality of this being our first year. I mean, I'm not, you know, it's not an excuse. We still have to line up and play like everybody else, and we're getting better as a football team. But I think it's like anything in life, you don't really appreciate it as much when you don't have it, and you know, not having the off-season program and things like that. It's been a challenge, but you know, I do like the progress that we're making as a football team.
Coach, as you said, a lot's been going on with COVID, and you've had health issues on your team. You think this is like the perfect time to get a mental break for your group?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, 9 weeks is you know, one of your longer buys. You know, I think I've had a 10-week buy, so they're definitely ready for a break. I think buys are important. It's always the first thing that I look at when the schedule comes out, because you know, you're always trying to have an idea of how to navigate and lay out each and every regular season. So yeah, definitely, I think this is definitely the right time for a break.
Looks like you're going to lose Tyler for a couple of weeks, and Looney's going back to center. Just your thoughts on how you guys have been able to juggle that defensive line all season?
Well, I mean, it's you know, we have a lot of experience at it. Unfortunately, you know, every week it seems like we've had to make one change, and so I thought Joe Looney did a really nice job jumping in there, and you know, you can see, you know, he didn't have a whole lot of practice time with Garrett, and just the way we were able to get up and get going. So I thought that part of it was clean. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I guess you can say in some levels we're getting used to it. So. But it's a very unfortunate win and how he was injured.
Gregory was highly active yesterday, be it affecting the quarterback as a pass rusher and also against the run. What did you make of his performance and how he's been able to take advantage of increased opportunity?
Well, I would definitely say his performance was impactful. You can, I mean, he's done a couple of different things that have been very impressive. You look at his, you know, the one particular rush he had on the one field goal. You know, he has unique power and quickness. He's a pressure player, but you know, I think you have to remember, right. This is a little bit like preseason game number 2 for him. So. But and with that being said, I thought he had some really impactful plays.
What do you think has been the difference for the defense over the past couple games, be it player usage, player performance, scheme, otherwise? What do you think is really going on with that unit?
Well, I think a number of the variables you put out there are part of them playing better. I think the first thing is what I see is I don't see guys that are thinking. I mean, we were thinking, not playing fast earlier in the year. That was evident, you know, as we got going and, you know, in some of those games. So, we really backed off and cut the volume down, and I thought the players have really responded. And we're playing the right way. Guys are playing faster. The staff is, this is our first time, together as a staff. I mean, we're not a staff that was together, at another location, and we just, brought our staff here from a different place. I mean, this is a new staff that's, learning to work with one another, and so we're getting better. I thought the in-games adjustments, particularly this week, were probably as good as we've done all year. So, I just see it all coming together.
Mike, why do you think Tony Pollard has been able to break out for some of those big runs that he was able to yesterday? What in the offense allows him to do that?
Well, I mean, it's just just like any play, it's not what play you call. A lot of it's when you call them. I thought Kellen did a very nice job there, and Tony's just running with so much more confidence, and was able to hit the crease runs and get to the second level and break tackles.
It seemed like Neville Gallimore has taken another step in his progression. Where have you seen him improve the most, and what has allowed him to be as successful as he was yesterday?
Yeah, he's playing fast. He's not thinking. I think he's an excellent example of what I was talking about earlier. I mean, you're seeing, he's getting down. He's obviously making the adjustments he needs to make, and I thought he was extremely physical and impactful. I thought he did a lot of nice things in yesterday's game.
Mike, even with the way these first 9 weeks have unfolded for you, would you expect yourself to be in the thick of the NFC East race these final 7 games, kind of based on how you've been able to right yourself here lately?
Oh, I think our best days are ahead of us. That's what I'm hopeful for. We're up against it, obviously with the 7 losses. The injury bug, hasn't left the building yet. So, hopefully we can get past some of these injuries and just build some continuity and consistency. And I think it'll definitely serve us well here down the stretch.
Mike, Stephen referenced that in some ways this might be like your first year in Green Bay. You started 1-4, I think, and then 4-8, and then won your last 4 games. Do you see? Are there any comparisons to that as you look at what's happened so far this year?
I mean, the comparisons would be that the highs and lows and really what can come off of this year is just so different than any year I can that I've been a part of. There's just so much new and change. I've just never been around so many situations where every week is different than a week before, whether it's your lineup on the offensive line, who your quarterback is. I mean, we've played 4 quarterbacks in the last 5 weeks, and so I mean it's just a different year. It's a different year. So I know this in 2007 we were a very good football team, and we were a much better team because of the experiences that we went through in 2006.
And then with the penalties there in the fourth quarter on Jalen and Leighton, did you go back and see them and get a better look at them? And what are your feelings on the calls that were made?
Yeah, I had a chance to watch them. I think like we do every week, we grade the tape and we grade the players based off of what we see on video and so forth. We had 7 penalties called on us on defense, and obviously impacted the game because gave Pittsburgh more opportunities. So we've taken a look at the plays and the players. We've had our grade session and have gone through it. So hopefully we'll be better off moving forward.
Stephen mentioned concussion protocol still on Andy. Can you give us any clarity on whether he still is in the concussion protocol, or if you feel like he's at least set to be cleared on that?
Well, I mean that's something that he's got 2 things going on. Obviously with the protocol, and but as far as being cleared, when he's going to be cleared, we'll have to get back to you on that. But I don't see that happening before the end of the week.
And if he is back next week, with the way Garrett played, do you feel like it kind of settled down the quarterback position a little bit in terms of a starter and a backup that you saw do a little something?
I hope so. I like the way you're thinking. I think it's definitely would be helpful there, because that's the most important position, and have some consistency and the productivity that we had yesterday. That would definitely serve us well.
Mike, you mentioned a couple of times with the 4 quarterbacks. I'm just curious, your thoughts on what Doug Nussmeier has been able to do for those guys, and teaching veteran guys, young guys, inexperienced guys, really the whole gambit this year.
Yeah, Doug's done an excellent job. I mean, this is a huge challenge for the whole quarterback room, and he's created a culture and an environment, a teaching culture that's obviously everybody surrounds the guy that has the ball and helps him get ready to play, and Doug's the driving force in that room. So I mean, he's done an excellent job.
Mike, since Todd just asked you about Nussmeier, I'll ask you about Kellen Moore. Just what stood out to you about, as you said, 4 different quarterbacks in 5 weeks, just his ability to consolidate and put together very different sort of game plans in such a short period of time.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a new experience for him. I mean, this is his second year calling plays, and he had some injuries to tackles last year, but it's definitely different when you're playing with different quarterbacks, and it's a lot harder game to call for a play caller, just because when you have moving parts as we've had. So. And, I feel like Kellen is meeting that challenge each and every week.
I know Andy has not cleared protocol yet, but do you have any type of update on just how he is physically from the coronavirus standpoint?
I do not. I haven't spoken to Andy in a couple of days, so I do not have an update.
Does anybody have anything else for Coach? All right.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.